How are you? We're advertising Chuck Wagon. Chuck Wagon is Saturday, May 17th at Camp Buck Hill in Burrillville. So these are the papers that will be online, but right now registration is not open. So it is a day program for the younger kids. You're graduating third graders, fourth, and if you have any fifth graders still, can stay overnight for the, what we call Weeblos Overnight for many years, which we're keeping that name even though it's open to Arrow of Lights and you're just graduating bears. Great opportunity. Buck Hill is an awesome camp and we had a lot of fun.
That's right, and we're always looking for folks to help to run stations.
Yep.
It is a day-long event. A couple hundred kids last year, so
Yep.
pretty cool. But Jeremy has been there for a couple of seasons.
Yes. So I know, have you gone, has your unit gone to Chuck Wagon?
I don't know if they have.
So,
Not that I'm aware of.
so,
Be a great year to start.
Maybe.
I mean, for what it's
I
worth,
mean, Weeblos,
it's,
that leader
it's,
too.
it's all,
On top of it.
so, I mean, for what it's worth, it's a fun time. So it's not as intense as Klondike in terms of skills,
We
but
try to teach them to prepare for Klondike. So by having a wagon inspection, if they don't pass, no big deal. But if they don't pass at Klondike, then they don't get ribbons. They're not eligible for ribbons. So we try to teach them that and, you know, train them for how you do it and go from station to station, that kind of deal. So it's just, but it's fun-based, as all of them are. But the competition, not so much. Some of the games are just for fun, whereas some of them you can place.
let's see.
We are unique that we don't provide lunch. We ask you to bring your own bag lunch, but we do have a food truck that comes that you, of course, you have to pay for out of pocket. And we suggest you do that to supplement your lunch because generally the line is kind of long for one truck. So
And one thing that's nice is since it is a council event, they can have a DB range in archery. So you can have targets.
Yep.
Target splits. So let's see.
what other comments? Any questions? It is rain or shine. The only reason it gets canceled if there's heavy rains, you know, dangerous winds, that kind of thing. Generally, only one year it was postponed, 3 nights.
Thrice.
3 times.
Thrice.
Never before, since we've been in it.
And when will registration open?
I'm hoping soon. I finished the paperwork actually last night, so I will submit it to Zach tomorrow. I knew they were getting up the troop Challenge of Champions Olympics thing. So I was giving them a couple of days to finish that, and then I'll get it with this. But all these, this is exactly what you'll get on the website.
So what stinks is this is one of those that it helps reinforce seeing the words as well as talking through the words. That's why I want to be able to show. And
Just because you want doesn't mean it will happen.
hey, I want and need are 2 different things, I guess.
So while you're setting that up, can I talk for a second?
I would love to have you talk, Josh.
Awesome. So coming up this fall, so weekend in September and a weekend in October, we are having our next wood badge class. Course 13-546-25. Okay, it'll be 2 weekends. And like I said over there, every scout deserves a trained leader. And even Cub Scout leaders, we get a lot of them. So don't think that it's just for Scouts BSA. It's a great opportunity and a lot of fun. So I'll just pass this out to the ones that I don't see with beads right now.
Who's hosting?
Lisa Kenyon Kozel is going to be, Kozel Kenyon, I'll get it right straight. Sometimes it's
This is
sensitive.
Lisa.
Yes. Lisa KK is the course director. I'm Josh. I'm the ASMO program, the backup course director. We're already training staff to make sure that the course runs smoothly. And both weekends are at Yagoo this year. So both weekends are at Yagoo, and it'll be a good time.
How many have you done, Adrian?
Ready?
You max out.
I mean, well, I've won the max out, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I I've been on 5 officially, 2 hours on,
Yeah, wow.
and my participant was.
It is pretty cool.
Awesome. Get that.
I did mine with Henry.
Henry Jarvis back in
1924.
I think it was 32. but-
Oh.
Yeah, I drove my 32 Ford.
That was 6 days.
Pretty cool.
I took mine in
Guess what?
2010 with Kevin Kennedy, so right after.
Right in that same time.
Yeah, yours was 2000.
No, the one that said unknown.
It's changed a lot since then. I think you should take it again.
Yeah. You gotta pick my work. That's the biggest thing for me is to get time on the weekend for work. Yeah. But it was great.
Yeah,
It was really
no,
cool.
it's a great experience. I was very hesitant about doing it initially. And then after I got off course, it was just amazing. It was a great experience. You look around, a lot of the people around you have been on staff, on course. Always look for these beads. Those are the people that have taken wood badge and completed it. It's great. It brings you right through from being a Cub Scout through being through Scout BSA and what they go through and what our plans are. So
We should also mention it is not just scouting related, it's something you can use.
oh, absolutely. Good point, Adrian. So
I like
wood
that.
badge,
The conflict resolution is best.
the conflict resolution is great.
Absolutely.
This is
Yes.
something you can put on your resume too.
I did.
There are people that will, employers that will actually reimburse you for the course. If you don't have anything through the troop that pays for it, there are employers that will do this. It is something you can put on your resume. There's a lot of really good classes, like Newt said, the conflict resolution, having difficult conversations. There's so many that are really helpful as an adult, and you in turn can train the youth below you. So it's a great opportunity. The link is live on the website. You should be able to register right away. We already have some that are registered, and we should be good to go. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh. All right, welcome. All right, are we live? All right, so I'm Jeremy Labonte. I'm the Cub Scout Roundtable Breakout representative for the Northwest District and also for the Rhode Island Roundtable. And I'm also the Northwest District Commissioner. So, today we're going to talk about Cub Scout camping. All right, so granted, we're going to be talking about a lot of rules. However, this is meant to be an involved discussion. We want to hear some conflicting opinions or thoughts on what we think Cub Scouting camping is versus what it might not be. All right, so without further ado, do you want to know, we're focusing right now on lines through Weeblos, so the kindergarten through 4th grade levels. And I go through the outline, but so we have Cub Scout, what it is, basic rules, as well as additional discussion. Before we even get into camping, first thing is planning is key. In previous sessions, we've talked about the SAFE checklist. Have you guys heard of the SAFE checklist? Yes, no, maybe? Before I go any further, I apologize. I don't have any Scouting America standard slides, so this was a quick put together on my side. So SAFE checklist, you're doing that months in advance when you're first determining if you're going to be camping. So you're making sure you have the right resources, the right skills, the site, you're evaluating the site, understanding the local conditions, understanding the location, it has the right facilities needed. That'll get into more with approved locations. Also, one thing I really want to stress is keeping an eye on the forecast. So the forecast, in particular with New England, like 3/4 of our year is cold weather camping, at least 6 months. So the policy for Narragansett Council is Cub Scouting, you cannot camp if the forecast is under 40 degrees. Right, so you want to make sure you keep an eye on the forecast. Now let's be realistic. Say you're camping and it drops to 38, 36 degrees and the forecast at 40. So chances are you're perfectly fine, make sure everyone's safe. If people aren't comfortable, then you make the call to maybe have to move out. But keep an eye on that forecast when you're planning. All right. Let's see. What is Cub Scout camping? First off, Cub Scout camping is family centric. So we're focused on family activities, Cub activities that can involve the family. So it would not be weird to have a full family camping out together as part of the pack. All right. When you're planning the program, activities need to follow the age and skill appropriate guidelines. So if of course it's in the pile right there, but there's a grid that has literally every rank and every age, and it says, okay, for this age they can do this, for this they can't do this. For instance, fire building. So at home, everyone loves fire building. At Scouts, the age appropriate rule is until you're Weeblo, you're not allowed to participate in fire building and lighting fires. So that is the rule. However, they can always cheer on, they can always watch and learn for when they're going to do it the next year. Or there's plenty of activities that they could be doing as well besides the fire building portion. Let's see, another example, Cub Scout. So Cub Scout camping, so the pack camping, we are limited to council approved locations. All right, what is a council approved location? Let's see, who knows this? I'm reaching out to the room.
A bona fide scout camp.
So a scout camp, any scout camp in Scouting America. Okay, what else? I'm not saying that's correct though.
No.
Anyone want to guess?
Well, the council goes and it has to deem it worthy, right? Like you go and it makes sure that it follows all the same guidelines.
That's exactly it. And right now, the official approved ones by council are the council-owned properties. So not necessarily, so like Camp Sear, that's approved for scouting. And we're not getting into AOLs, but if AOLs go there, that's not a problem. But technically for Narragansett Council, that is not approved for Narragansett Council acts. So that being said, now there's also a couple oddballs that are approved for the council. Okay, want to guess what they are? I might have heard one earlier tonight.
Fort Adams.
Fort Adams, yes, during the camporee. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the camporee.
Okay.
You might have mentioned it earlier tonight, place you're going to overnight.
Me?
Battleship.
Oh, we're Battleship Cove.
You got it. Battleship Cove is another council approved location. Granted, it's not really camping, it's
Is
more of
the
an
Salem
overnight.
still approved?
Not to my knowledge.
It's like a Mayflower thing, I think,
West of Salem, yeah.
Yeah, not to my knowledge, but Museum of Science is also approved, Boston Museum of Science, because they have the overnight activities there.
Oh, never mind.
So now, that being said, say your charter org has a massive field or a massive location, and you want to have like an intro to camping campsite with your pack. So chances are half your pack has not camped before, and the adults have not camped before. So maybe an easy overnighter, one night, just teach them how to set up tents and how to break down for the adults. Forget about the kids at that point. There is the process to get approval, as you mentioned. So, but that is upon the council. So the best practice is the form is available online through Guide to Safe Scouting. Download the form, fill it out, take pictures of the location, where the bathrooms are, where the shelter is, where like if there's barriers for the location. That gets submitted to council. So it goes to Joram, and Joram has to review it as the director of camping. So, but it's not an overnight approval either. So you do have to send it, give time, give a good lead time. So it's part of your, so as I said, when you're first talking about the overnighter, when you're first doing your safety checklist, that's when you're also going for the application for the location. But your Buck Hill, Aquapog, Yagu, Norse, those are all approved. All right. Cub Scout Pack Unit Coordinated Activity. So this has been going from 1 to 2 days recently. It is now officially, you can have 2 consecutive nights for pack, so unit level camping. Right? Now you might be like, okay, well we have like Weeblo's week at Yagu. That's not a pack unit. That's a council coordinated activity. So different setting, they have different rules for them to keep it maintained for overnight camping. So 2 consecutive nights. Quite honestly, after 2 nights, the youth are ready to go home at that point.
Most parents are.
And the parents. All right. Some tenting discussions. All right, so tenting. This is where family camping comes into play. So typically you'll have families tent together. The family is the parents, legal guardians, and siblings. All right, that's it. Now, say you have some two youth that want to tent together. That's okay. Make sure you follow the age difference guidelines. Yeah, the age.
2 years.
Yeah, as long as you follow the Guide to Safe Scouting for camping together. Yep. Well, so if it's siblings, it's okay.
Okay.
Siblings are okay, but otherwise same sex and 2 years apart. So, and it could have just two youth. Doesn't mean parents, other adults start staying with these two different youth. It's youth only at that point.
Jeremy, what do you have little Joey that wants to stay with Fred and Ralph and his family, and those little Joey's family is absent?
Oh, we'll get into coverage for why Joey's parents aren't even there, or the guardians aren't even there. So if little Joey is there alone, little Joey can't stay with another, in the tent with another adult. That's a no-go. So,
What about, I'm just playing devil's advocate, what about if the Smith family brought him?
he's still not the part of the family.
Okay.
Yeah, parents, legal guardians.
So would he stay in his own tent by himself or
He-
with his friend?
He can stay by himself or he can stay with his friend,
But not an adult. That's not biologically
Correct.
related to.
or
Or his
legal
legal
guardian.
guardian.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, next is, okay, so that's general rules for tent camping and sharing tents. Any additional questions? There's always some
And
great
that's for Cub
outliers.
Scouts. This is for Cub Scouts.
Just Cub Scouts. Cub
Like
Scouts.
any age, or like
Um,
Weeblos, that can, like two friends that sleep in a tent.
Yep, at any age, you could have, two lions stay together in a tent. However, we're going to talk about lion and tigers have different requirements for guardians present, right?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, it's, quite honestly, you're going to know if your children are ready to stay overnight together in a tent, or if they need to stay with the parent. Like, you're going to know. And it's not a forcing situation at the back.
Screaming and crying gives it away.
Yeah, we're focused on family. It's a family camp. It's family campy, family centric right now. All right. Training requirements. So we always have to have the 2 registered leaders. So it is 2 registered leaders over 21. If female youth are present, one of those registered leaders has to be a registered female. So in addition to that, when it comes to pack camping, one of the leaders at all times, again, at all times, needs to be blue trained. The reason I mention this is, say you have one blue trained leader, they're there, something comes up at home, they have to run home, you have to shut down camp, everyone has to go home, period. So that's why, unless you can get another leader there right away to do a live swap. So that's why we highly recommend multiple leaders at each camping event, as well as just getting all your leaders trained. Because as you heard multiple times tonight, every youth deserves a trained leader. Additionally, this one's, I think, relatively newer, but at least one registered leader has to have hazardous weather training. This one expires though, so every 2 years it does expire. So you want to make sure that you keep up on that. And it's part of the training requirements for Cub Masters and Scout Masters and ASMs and Assistant Scout Masters. So it keeps them trained. Yes?
I would just have everyone take hazard level.
Yes. It is recommended that all leaders complete the training every 2 years. But it's recommended, it's not a requirement,
No.
other than having one person trained at the event.
But it's an hour and it's right.
All right, any additional questions? This is some great stuff, right? Going over rules, it's the highlight of my night.
It's necessary though.
All right, attendance requirements. So we touched on this in addition to the training requirements. So lions and tigers, oh my, have to have their adult with them. So either their parent or guardian have to be with them. They have to have a guardian with them. One, yes. So my understanding is that say you have twins, it's the twin, one parent. That's my understanding. So you don't need both parents if you have twins, say. Let's see, so they need to have the parent there. So all other ranks, so again, we're talking in general right now, only under exceptional circumstances is there an option, exceptional circumstances, is there an option where a cub can be designated to another leader? All right, and that leader can only take one additional non-family member cub. All right, so again, we highly encourage the family to, the parent and guardian to attend with the youth. Again, it's a family event. If the family's not there, it's not as much a family event. All right, so again, this would be for wolves to Webelos, because we're talking only up to Webelos right now. So it can be a, yeah, so the parent of the cub, so let's read through it again really quick, because I read through it twice. So only exceptional circumstances, a Cub Scout whose parent or legal guardian cannot attend and a unit overnight camping trip may participate under the supervision of another registered member in scouting. So first off, to attend a unit event, you have to be registered to that unit. So by automatic logic, in that sense, you has to be someone registered to that unit. And registered adult in this case is 21 plus, and it is a parent of a Cub Scout who is also in scouting who is a parent of a Cub Scout who is also attending. All right. So the unit leader. So who's the unit leader for Cub Scouting? Yes. No. Who? What's the name of the position? Unit leader. Yes, Cub Master. Because we use unit leader generically, so unit leader for Cub Scouts is Cub Master.
That was a trick question.
It kind of was. Unit leader for troop is Scout Master. That's why I just want to mention. So in this case, it means Cub Master. All right. And a parent or legal guardian must agree to the arrangement. Again, and we cannot have, that adult that has one or two kids with them already, or even more, can only take one non of their child. And that's the arrangement for the weekend. Everyone's agreed. Again, only under exceptional circumstances. Now we're going to murky it up even a little more. So Webelos. In the past, Webelos and AOL were a combined rank essentially. However, Webelos now is the 4th grade activity. AOL is the prep, the prep for joining scouting. So the 4th grade Webelos, before you'd have the Webelos and AOLs even go together to the troop. That's not the case anymore. Webelos cannot go to troop activities. However, and they also cannot attend camporees that are only BSA camporees. So the reason I mention this is we started talking about Fort Adams. Fort Adams is okay for the day because there's a Cub Scout program for the day sponsored by the council. That's why it's approved. So, but
the Webelos wouldn't be allowed to stay overnight?
neither,
No, any of the Cubs?
yeah, none would in this case. So
Not the AOLs.
The AOLs can.
the AOLs could if the camporee allows it, but they might not have an AOL option in that sense.
But if they stay with the troop,
No, not this year at Fort Adams. We're looking at enough space.
So that's, yeah,
Okay.
it comes down to the council and camporee at that point. But if it's a camporee where they have more than enough space, more than enough resources, then it would most likely be offered. All right, let's see. So Webelos, though, can do den camping, which is great. So they can go on den camping. Den camping means ideally they're going with their parent, because we still want to keep the parent going. They're going with their adult leaders, 2 adult leaders, 21 plus, registered to the unit. If it's a female den, then that means at least one of them is female. All right, and then And we also are, they can go up to 2 nights consecutive. They're also following the rules where one of those leaders is blue trained and one of them has current hazardous weather training. All right, but you can camp as a den. So this is where you're really gonna look to have the youth stay together in the tents, because they're starting to really get the ball rolling and going towards the scouting, the true patrol scouting experience. So we have pack camping, families together, big tents. I want to mention, I have one family where they fit 6 people in one tent. It's 2 bunk beds and 2 ground mats. So it's impressive.
It's a hotel.
Yes.
It's a big tent. That's awesome.
And so that's the extreme. Now we want to get to den camping where they're not in the true patrol method yet. It's not the true scouting experience yet. However, they're staying together in their dens. They're having fun as a den together. Quite honestly, it's what we found, what's worked for my unit is we just get one big tent and put that den together in the tent. Have them sleep together. They have fun. Let's see. And then the next step would be AOL, when they can go den camping. Now they're called patrols, but they can go den camping, or they can be invited with the troop and go troop camping. And we're not covering that. That's actually getting covered under the Scouts BSA portion, but we can have open discussion about that if you need. Any additional questions regarding Weeblo's den camping? All right. We were touching this, so Weeblo should attend with their guardian. And let's see. So in this case, it's a little different from the pack family camping. In this case, if a parent cannot attend, it follows more of the BSA model where you have 2 adult leaders and they're there camping as a den. So you could have 2 adult leaders and then 4 youth with only 2 of them being, 4 or 5 youth with only 2 of them being related to the leaders. Let's see. And we already touched on, if it's a camporee that's only a BSA camporee, Weeblos cannot attend that. All right, and they can't even, technically they can't even go as visitors for the day. So I thought that's an interesting.
You can use Chuck Wagon in the Weeblos open night as an example.
So, well, that's a Cub Scout event. It's not a BSA event. So it's a council event and it's a Cub event. So
But you still do the same thing with the tents as far as the overnight sleeping.
yes, so yours is actually closer to like the Weeblos overnight area at that point in terms of the camping requirements. So, all right, and as always, there are plenty of resources if you want to click on the hyperlinks. So, but all of this was taken from the Scouting America site, Guide to Safe Scouting. Everything is directly, everything you need is there. If you spend 5-10 minutes reading it through, you can find answers to almost everything.
Sometimes fun reading.
Yes, tons of fun reading.
And sometimes.
All right, but, sorry. But on that note, that's the end of the formal presentation. Open discussion on, I wanted to discuss, okay, any fun unit campouts, any questions on some particulars that you might have on campouts or suggestions? Yes.
We, as a pack, we were discussing like kind of alternating, like we did Battleship Cove last year, we're doing it again this year, but we were like thinking about different place. Fort Adams is not approved because that was what we were planning on for next year. That's not an approved site.
My understanding is that is not an approved council site for Cub Scouts.
They might be able to get it approved. There are interior bunk rooms, which could be used for Cub Scouts, because there are bathrooms with running water, and it's inside, and it can fit, I think, up to 30 people in the bunk rooms.
So what I recommend is getting in contact with Joram Northrop. His contact's right on the council site for staff. And it might already be approved if that, for a particular bunk, that bunkhouse might already be approved, but you'll want to check with them.
How do you spell his name?
JORAMNORTHRUP.
Just want to make sure. Thank you.
So I was asked this question the other day, so as far as council-approved overnighters, years past, they used to have a lot of them.
Yeah.
They have Museum of Science and Battleship Cove, and I was told the only other one was Mystic still has one.
Questions.
And that's it, right? There is no others? Because I know in the past, Roger Williams Park has done one.
So, that's a good point. So we do have the council-sponsored sleepover for Roger Williams Park.
Yep.
So here's the thing,
That
that's
used to be the Paw
so-
Sharks.
but here's the thing, now we're talking, but that's a council event. We're talking unit events. So this is, event that you want to set up just for your unit.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we're planning 4 months from now, we're gonna bring the pack here. It's not a council event.
Our favorite's Buck Hill.
Yeah,
They rent
conveniently,
a cabin, and then if the families want to camp outside, there's
They-
no problem.
it's,
For
so.
those that want to do both.
I know it's fun going someplace outside council, but you can't, but quite honestly, the facilities we have in council are amazing. So try to please use them if at all possible. So registration is available online.
Going outside of council, again, if you have your adventure card, you can go up to Milton, Mass, and go to the base camp up there. They've got cabins. That's a council property,
There you go.
suitable for Cub Scouts. Conversely, up in Daniel Webster at Granite Adventure Base, again, your council adventure card will get you the discount rate up there as well. That's for troops and packs.
So I might have misspoken. Camp Sayer, I believe, is.
Camp Sayer's the one. you're
Okay,
looking at.
so I misspoke then. So Camp Sayer then is approved by our council because it's part of our base camp.
Right, but even other council camps would still they meet the BSA standard, it's a Cub camp. So like, Treasure Valley, one side of Treasure Valley is Scouts BSA or Scouting America, and the other side is their Cub Scout camp.
So you have to make sure it's the approved Cub Scout camp.
Yes, but I'm saying you could use other council facilities because they have to pass the same standards as long as they meet they're the Cub Scout campground. So if you do want to travel,
So how do we ensure that it's met the Cub Scout standard then?
you look on, same way you look on, the website here, you look on their website. Yeah. If they've got their Cub camp there, and if they're offering their Cub camp at that location, it's gonna meet the standards for a Cub camp.
And you can still ask Joram for.
For referrals.
Do you know when registration for like this, because it's changed, like, do you know when it's gonna open for the fall and then the whole next year?
That's an awesome question. I bet you our new district executive knows what it is.
No, it doesn't. It's
So-
it's a secret.
I think
How
it's
will we
usually
know
around
when
May.
it's gonna open, because I wanna be on top of it.
I'm pretty certain it'll be out in the weekly newsletter. Yeah, we'll announce it when it opens, I'm sure, probably.
So Mad Rush,
Yeah.
Get
I
the
wanna
dates
be
you
on
want.
top of it.
Keep watching your inbox.
Check the council pass on the
Yeah.
website.
all right.
Just refresh.
So I believe
every
we
10
have an
seconds for
addendum
the
to my
next
discussion
months.
regarding council approved locations. It is safe to associate another council's Cub approved location as a council approved location for Cubs. That's all I got. So thank you everyone for coming. See, I kept a good time.
Any questions about Chuck Wagon? Okay. Thank you.
How far do you check?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Someone brought up on
Farm animals.
the stream,
Oh,
they say we camped at Camp Yagu in a cabin, one large room, couldn't separate by gender because some facilities were mixed, dad, daughter, mom, son. What are your thoughts?
what are my thoughts? So, well, which unit was that? didn't say.
It's someone in the Southwest.
So my thoughts are so it's a pack situation, all right? And if you go to Battleship Cove, you're all in one room and you separate it as much as possible. All right. So I think it also depends how many. It depends how many people are we talking about. Are we talking, like 20 people? Are we talking 5 people? Are they on top of each other? Are they able to separate?
He says it's pack 6.
Oh, okay, got it. So I'm copying out, I'm not giving a personal opinion on it. All right, however, I think we need to reach out to our district exec for how that should really be handled.
He says they checked with council to make sure, and it came down to the line that basically says if all else fails, additional supervision is required.
So it's similar to Battleship Cove. You have so many people watching over each other. It's a safe environment at that point. Okay, so they had an answer from council.
19 total, we use the bathrooms in Buckland, and all changing was done in the bathrooms.
So that's a good point. Actually, the changing, I do recommend when you're Yagu, keep changing separate from the cabins. Ideally, you can also regulate when adults and youth are going into the bathrooms in the Buckland to make sure you don't have it mixing, especially if they're changing in the shower. Ideally, you change in the shower stalls, right? So at least there's separation. Or you can lock one of the doors.
We've had an issue with camping at like the castle where one bathroom is broken and you leave someone at the door while a youth is in there or the adults, and that way there's somebody monitoring.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when something's broken, then
Yeah.
make the best you can do at that point. So no, thank you. Please thank them for that perspective. Yes, I agree. It's not an ideal situation to have everyone packed in together. At the same time, that can also be a lot of fun too. But we want to make sure we keep everyone safe. Any additional questions from Cyberland?
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm way inspired.
I need to sneak into the restaurant.
Can we present you?